Welcome back, history enthusiasts, to another intriguing journey through time. Today, we're diving deep into the annals of the past to uncover the 10 biggest historical mysteries that continue to baffle scholars, archaeologists, and armchair detectives alike. From ancient civilizations to modern enigmas, these puzzling phenomena have captivated our imagination for centuries. So grab your detective hats and join me as we embark on a quest to unravel the secrets of the past that may never see the light of day. What happened to the Mary Celeste? On December 5, 1872, the British ship De Gracia pulled up alongside the Mary Celeste and found it abandoned and adrift about 400 miles, 644 kilometers, east of the Azores. A lifeboat was missing, but there was no damage to the vessel or sign of any struggle. The 10 passengers and crew aboard the vessel were never seen again, and what happened on board the ship has been a mystery ever since. Many theories have been put forward. One suggests that a leak from the ship's cargo of alcohol may have prompted the crew to abandon ship because of fears it would catch fire and blow up. Another theory is that a waterspout may have threatened the vessel. To this day, the mystery has never been solved. It likely never will be. 2. Was Mount Everest scaled in 1924? The first verified individuals to scale Mount Everest were Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, who reached the summit on May 29, 1953. However, they may not have been the first people to reach the top. In 1924, British mountaineers Andrew Irvine and George Mallory died on Mount Everest. Since then, there has been speculation about whether they may have reached the summit before they perished. In 1999, climber Conrad Anker found Mallory's body at a height of almost 27,000 feet, 8,229 meters, up the 29,032-foot tall, 8,849 meters, mountain. Irvine's body has never been found, and a camera the two originally brought with them also remains undiscovered. Sadly, it seems unlikely that we will ever know for sure whether the two reached the top before they perished. 3. What does the Voynich manuscript say? The 600-year-old Voynich manuscript is a mysterious codex that contains a series of illustrations and writings. The writings, penned by an unknown author, have not been deciphered, and it's not clear if they represent an unknown language, a code or gibberish. Attempts to decipher the codex and understand its meaning have been unsuccessful. Many theories have attempted to explain the text. For example, it may be a reference book, a work of fiction, or an attempt to gain entry into a secret society. It looks unlikely that the codex will ever be deciphered, or it may be undecipherable. 4. Where is Alexander the Great buried? By the age of 32, Alexander the Great had swept across Asia, conquering a region from the Balkans to Pakistan and ruling over the biggest empire in the ancient world. Then, in 323 BC, he died, and his empire fell like a house of cards. The ruler was felled by an illness in Babylon. Historical documents suggest one of his generals brought his body back to ancient Egypt 2 years later, and that his body was held in the city of Memphis while a tomb was built for him in Alexandria. However, no one knows exactly where that iconic tomb is located. Some have suggested it has sunk beneath the waves, because it was built in the Palaces district, that is now submerged. If that's the case, it may have been destroyed by millennia of both human and natural forces, experts previously told Live Science. Even if it were to be found, there would likely be few identifying marks proving the tomb belonged to Alexander. The ancient historians who described the building of the tomb left little physical description of it, so researchers may need an intact inscription to identify the tomb. 5. Was there a real King Arthur? The story of King Arthur has been told and retold numerous times over more than 1,000 years. Camelot, the Knights of the Round Table, the Wizard Merlin, and the sword Excalibur are all famous parts of the Arthurian tales. However, if King Arthur did really exist, the reality was likely less magical. The earliest surviving accounts date to the 9th century and tell of a leader, perhaps not even a king, who fought several battles against the Saxons. Even the accuracy of these accounts is debatable. There are a number of sites in Britain that legends link to King Arthur, such as Tintagel, a coastal site that was supposedly King Arthur's home. But excavations have not confirmed whether Arthur ever lived there or even existed. Ultimately, it seems unlikely that scholars will ever know for sure whether there was a real King Arthur or whether the man was purely fictional. 6. What happened to the vanished colonists at Rowan O? On July 22, 1587, John White arrived to Roanoke Island with another 120 people along with him. A few months later, he sailed back to England, hoping to restock on badly needed supplies. But when he finally returned 3 years later, every last resident had vanished. The only clue to their potential whereabouts: the mysterious words CROATOAN carved on a palisade, and another crow carved on a tree. White assumed the residents had traveled to Croatoan Island, which is now called Hatteras Island. But a storm blew in and prevented White from reaching the island, and he never raised enough money for another search. Some documents suggest Chief Powhatan killed some of the colonists, but there's no archaeological evidence to back that up. Other theories propose the residents were attacked by the Spanish or that the colonists simply died of natural causes. Whatever the case, the fate of the colonists is the biggest unsolved mystery in American history. William Kelso, Emeritus Director of Archaeology and Research at the Jamestown Rediscovery Foundation, previously told Live Science. 07. Where is Cleopatra's tomb? Ancient writers claim that Cleopatra VII and her lover, Mark Antony, were buried together in a tomb after the deaths in 30 BC. The writer Plutarch, AD 45 to 120, wrote that the tomb was located near a temple of Isis, an ancient Egyptian goddess, and was a lofty and beautiful monument containing treasures made of gold, silver, emeralds, pearls, ebony and ivory. The location of the tomb remains a mystery. In 2010, Zahi Hawass, Egypt's former antiquities minister, conducted excavations at a site near Alexandria now called Tapaziris Magna, which contains a number of tombs dating to the era when Cleopatra VII ruled Egypt. While many interesting archaeological discoveries were made, Cleopatra VII's tomb was not among them, and there is no evidence that the tomb is located there, Hawass said. Archaeologists have noted that even if Cleopatra's tomb does survive to this day, it may be heavily plundered and unidentifiable. 08. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. One of the most confounding aviation mysteries of all time, the disappearance of Flight 370 in 2014 remains as tragic as it is perplexing. In the middle of the night over the open ocean, the plane, flying from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, completely disappeared, leaving all 239 people on board missing, presumed dead. Though experts agree that the plane must have crashed into the ocean, nobody knows why. It could have been anything from a malfunction to a hijacking, potentially with the involvement of the crew. Though some pieces of the wreck have since washed ashore, the location has yet to be found even after many extensive search efforts. 09. Stonehenge. This strange monument has been standing in Wiltshire, England for as long as anybody can remember, constructed at some point during the 3rd millennia BC, up to 5,000 years ago. But despite its fame and popularity as a tourist attraction, nobody knows how Stonehenge was built or what it was built for. It may have been constructed by rolling the enormous stones over logs or even pulling them on a sled, and could have been used for ancient religious ceremonies, perhaps the winter solstice. But with no written records to peruse, we might well never find out exactly why Stonehenge was built. 10. The Nazca Lines. These vast geoglyphs are found across the Nazca Desert in Peru. Many of them depict animals endemic to the region, including monkeys, jaguars, and spiders. Others outline enigmatic geometric shapes. Best viewed from the air or surrounding mountains, they've been naturally preserved for roughly 2,000 years by the dry climate. Scholars have long been divided on exactly what the lines are for. Many believe that they're religious and were drawn as part of a ritual to ask the deities to bring rain to the crops. Since we can't ask the Nazca people themselves, though, it's doubtful we'll ever know their function for sure. And there you have it, folks, the 10 most perplexing historical mysteries that continue to elude our grasp. From lost civilizations to unexplained disappearances, the enigmas of history remind us that the past is a vast, untamed wilderness, full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. While we may never find all the answers, the pursuit of knowledge and the thrill of discovery are what keep us coming back for more. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and who knows? Perhaps you'll be the one to unlock the secrets of the ages. Thanks for watching, and remember, the greatest mysteries are often found in the pages of history.